and welcome from Dubai Airshow. Today I'm joined by Mohammed Mohaisen, the president of Honeywell Mena. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So of course SAF is a hot topic, it's on everyone's lips, but we were wondering if you could tell us a little bit about your SAF efforts, your carbon neutral SAF, and also some of your eco-fining technology and sort of how that is projecting forward the development of SAF.
Great. As you said, SAF is one of the hot topics and challenges that need to be addressed on not only in the aerospace industry. I mean, as you know, Honeywell, we have different type of businesses and sustainability cutting across all those businesses, which is in a way or another as well aligned with where the direction of the governments and the countries that we operate on here in the Middle East and North Africa. Sustainability cut across on all the business sector that they play at, as well as Honeywell provide the technology that help our customer to achieve that goal. Today we are in Dubai Airshow, which is an aerospace industry. You hear about sustainability. Just if you go a month back, there was a DPIC, which is the oil and gas industry, and you hear about sustainability everywhere. And I think these two events is paving the way to COP28, which is, I'm sure that sustainability is going to be a solid part of the agenda that everybody is going to bring to the table for a discussion. So when we say Honeywell as a technology provider, yes, we do provide technology today to produce SAF. And these technologies is not under test. It's a proven technology being implemented in the US, implemented in Europe and South America. And this one of the technology demand that has been growing over the last few years, and we believe it's going to continue. As you know, if we look at sustainability of aerospace, the main source of emission that have a carbon emission, it's the fuel that we're using on the flight, which is to me 46% roughly of the emission of CO2 emission caused by the fuel burned on the aerospace industry. So Honeywell have a technology that's been there for so many years that we take different type of feed going through our process to produce the sustainable aviation fuel as an end product. The feed that we use, let it be used cooking oil or animal fat, but you need that to be in a sustainable amount, consistent, to be able to produce the amount of aviation fuel, sustainable aviation fuel that need, which is called SAF. We are engaged in many private, public customers within the region, I would say in UAE, Saudi, in Egypt and other, to be able to take that concept that been proven elsewhere to be deployed in the region.
And I know you mentioned partnerships there, but aside from that, what's required to really ramp up SAF production and sort of implementation, especially regionally?
There is two things as we need to address as the three parties. I mean, you said it, in partnership is going to be the only way to provide that solution. That's partnership between public, private, and our technology as a technology provider. Two areas that we need to address in making sure that this is solve the issue, making sure that we have enough feed to be able to produce the SAF needed, and the policies that need to be applied to deploy SAF on the aerospace industry. And that's why when I said technology is available, feed have to be figured out, the policies have to be deployed to be able to have this ecosystem work to make sure that the sustainability implemented on the aerospace industry.
So things still need to sort of align.
That's correct.
Absolutely. And sort of in the same vein, I was also wondering if we could talk a little bit about sort of carbon capture technology. It's obviously a quite controversial topic. It's very expensive. It's not yet at the level required to sort of have an impact. But where do you feel like we are in terms of the roadmap to those technologies, and what role do you think that they have in the energy transition?
That's a very good question. I mean, let's talk about carbon capture. Carbon capture could be actually part of the solution to produce SAF, but this is not going to be wasted only mix to be able to produce the SAF. But when you talk about carbon captures, we sit in a region which is rich on oil, and that's mean there's lots of oil explorations. That this fields, the oil fields which can be used to capture the carbon and re-injected to have an oil recovery on the oil, or as a storage of carbon capture. So this is part as well of sustainability. So you're capturing the carbon, either store it and have maybe a credit exchange policy, or store the carbon or use it to improve the recovery of the wells, or use that mix as well on another technology which Honeywell provide that can use the carbon capture into an end product, which is the aviation fuel.
And just finally, I know we've talked about the different projects and initiatives, but I was also wondering if you could share with us as well some of the initiatives that are related to disseminating sustainability and ESG knowledge throughout the Honeywell team, throughout the operations team, all across.
Great. I mean, ESG is another hot topic that every government, private sector, companies talking about, and actually it's became a mandate to deliver, right? And when you wanted to promote ECG or ESG or sustainability, you look within the company what we do. On Honeywell, we put a clear plan of reaching the carbon neutrality by 2035 in our operation. So within our own operation, we are setting up that target. So when you are engaging with customers, we are not selling them a theory. We're making sure that we are implementing it within our own operation to make sure that we add the credibility and belief of what we are promoting to our customers, that we are implementing it internally within our operations.
Brilliant.
Right.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Mohammed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.